Hi guys, Miss Terizzi here. Starting week 5, we're halfway through our virtual learning experience. Hard to believe it's already May and we're getting ready to wind down the school year. This week we are reviewing solving equations. Why we're doing this is because we're going to move on next week to solving equations with variables on both sides. This week there are only variables on one side. So I am going to do a couple of examples from the notes that cover a whole bunch of types of equations that we solved earlier in the year. I hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions, remember I'm always available for Zoom every day from 10 to 12, or you can shoot me an email and I will answer it as soon as possible. All right, so in your notes for week 5, this is your first problem. 2x plus 3 equals 15. This is what I like to call the classic two-step equation. Remember, we split the equation down the middle with the line just so we can see left and right. And we are going to move every number we're solving for x. We're going to move all these numbers away from x by doing the opposite operation to both sides. And we always move the number first that is farthest from x. So here, 2x plus 3, the plus 3 is further from x. So what's the opposite of adding 3? Well, I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. Positive 3 and negative 3 is 0, so that's gone, and I bring down my 2x equals, keep your equals right in the middle, 15 minus 3 is 12. Now, 2x, remember, that means 2 times x. So we're multiplying by 2. What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? Dividing by 2. Remember, we show it this way. Dividing by 2, we don't use that little elementary division symbol. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with 1x, which is just x, equals 12 divided by 2 is 6. That is your classic two-step equation. Now, let's take a look at one that looks like this. 5 times the quantity, x minus 3, equals 25. Draw your line down the middle. Here, I need to distribute first. Distribute that 5. You're always going to simplify both sides of your equation first if you can. 5 times x is 5x. Positive 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So I'm just going to write minus 15. Remember, no double signs, equals 25. Here we are. We're right back to the classic two-step. Which number is farthest from the x? This minus 15. What's the opposite of subtracting 15? Well, adding 15. So I add 15 to both sides. Remember, always do it to both sides. Negative 15 plus 15 is 0. So I bring down my 5x equals 25 plus 15 is 40. Divide both sides by 5. And you end up with 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that's just x equals 8. All right. That's the classic two-step, distributing. Let's take a look at a couple other examples. This is one that always messes kids up. X minus 7 over 3, the whole thing is over 3, equals negative 12. All right, now here again is our middle. Now, this is one where you really need to say, okay, which one of these numbers is farthest from the variable? Well, the 3 is. What does over 3 mean? It means we're dividing by 3. So what's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiplying by 3. And look how I'm showing this. It's really 3 over 1, so it's up by the numerator. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So on this side, I'm left with x minus 7 equals negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. Guys, please use your calculator when you're doing this so you make sure you don't make any minor errors. How do I finish solving this? Add 7 to both sides. I end up with x equals negative 36 plus 7. Remember, you're thinking money. You owe somebody 36, but you have 7. Wouldn't you give them your 7 and you would still owe them 29, so negative 29. But again, I highly recommend using your calculators. All right. That is different than this one. b over 4. That's b divided by 4 minus 6 equals 6. Now, this is set up differently than the problem we just did. Which one of these numbers is farthest from the variable? Now this minus 6 is. So that's the one that I moved first by adding 6. That's 0. So I have b over 4 equals 12. Multiply both sides by 4 because that's dividing by 4, and I end up with b is 48. Remember, undo the number that is farthest from the variable first. All right. We are going to take a look at 2 more examples. One contains combining like terms. So if I gave you this one, 3m plus 9 plus 4m equals 2. Now, remember, I need to simplify both sides first. So I'm not doing anything to both sides before I simplify. What can I do here? I can combine like terms. 3m plus 4m is 7m. I don't have anything to add to this 9, so plus 9 equals 2. Now we're back at the classic 2-step. Subtract 9 from both sides. I know you guys are really good at this. 7m equals 2 minus 9 is negative 7. Divide both sides by 7. M is negative 1. Last example is the most complicated. But to be honest, I really think you guys should be good at this. It's a good review for us. Let's do this one. 2x minus 3 times the quantity x plus 1 equals 9. Now, this is a pretty complicated equation. But again, we need to simplify this left-hand side. What do we need to do first? We need to distribute that negative 3. So I'm going to bring down my 2x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. So minus 3 equals 9. Now I need to simplify even more by combining like terms. 2x minus 3x. 2 minus 3 is negative 1x. But I'm just going to write negative x minus 3 equals 9. Finish solving this by adding 3 to both sides. I have negative x equals 12. We are not done. Remember, this is a negative 1x. So I need to divide both sides by negative 1, and I end up with x equals negative 12. This is the step that might mess you guys up. Remember, you are not solving for negative x. We are solving for x. All right, I hope you guys have a great week. I really miss seeing you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you.